Hi, welcome to Neppy Invests. Today, a bit of a request. So someone did ask if I could do Pointerra 3DP yesterday, and I do know a little bit about the company, so I thought it'd be a good idea to learn even more and address the question. So Pointerra 3DP, that's what we talk about today. And getting stuck straight into it, what do they do? So this is straight from their website, and one of from their, I believe this is from the Appendix 4C on the left. And we manage, analyze, and monetize other people's 3D data for them. So what's got me interested in this company in the first place was they are as a service provider. So most people are familiar with software as a service, but Pointerra has data as a service, data processing as a service, and analytics as a service. So those three things. And typically what you do find is those as a service companies have pretty good margins, and they are valued based off those margins because, you know, once you have high margins, as soon as you get a bit of a run rate going, you bring in a lot of cash flow. So on the right hand side is straight from their website. They provide a powerful cloud-based solution for managing, visualizing, working in, analyzing, using, and sharing massive 3D point clouds and data sets. Now, I do believe we are going through a data revolution right now, how humanity handles data. It's changing quite quickly, and I think that the cloud data warehouses, that's all got to do with us. Even data warehouses are going into the cloud now, so everything's heading into cloud, and how we handle data is going through a revolution as we speak. It looks like Pointerra is within that revolution thing, so whatever. Quite a few catalysts have occurred for me to actually know who Pointerra is over the last about a year and a half or so. So I've been following this company for a while, and the first catalyst was Strawman, or Andrew Page. So Andrew Page, I first got to know him, well, not know him personally, but I did know of Andrew Page quite a few years ago. He was in Motley Fool. He did some podcasts there. He was also on Your Money, Your Core. He's now developed this website called Strawman, which I think is a fantastic idea. So all Strawman does is take together lots of these different investors. They sort of collate their ideas, and those ideas, you sort of get the best ideas out of those ideas, and that's how you invest. Pointerra right now is their number one idea. In fact, I'll just show you their website. So this is their website, and you've got a lot of members. And then if you go to companies here, so you have to sign up. So all these companies, and you can see here, 40% per annum return compared to 4.1% by ASX 30. I'm not sure the algorithm, how they do this. So it's been in exception since 16th of November 2017. But the holdings here is based off what the members are doing. And the number one company is at the moment Pointerra 3DP. So you can actually click in Pointerra, and you can actually see what a lot of people are writing about, what they're thinking, the evaluation. So right here, back in the start of the year, the members were valuing 3DP at 5 cents, and they keep raising it, and right now they're valuing it at 25.5 cents. So that's actually consistent with what I'm thinking. I think Pointerra is priced to perfection at the moment, but there is some reasons it's going up. So this is a good website. I think it's a fabulous resource to get into. You can see what other investors are doing, what they're thinking, and even if you just follow what they're investing in, if you actually go to companies and look at their trades, they'll tell you how they trade. So the last trade was 10 days ago with ALC, where they rebalanced and they bought a little bit. And you can just see what the companies they're buying. And down there on the 4th of September, they did sell off a little bit of Pointerra at 46 cents, just because I think it's probably being priced to perfection at the moment. So right now, you can see they first entered in 2019, and then they've actually left in June, but they re-entered at 12.5 cents, and they made some good profit, 166.2% up. So that's the first sort of instance way back in 2019, over a year ago, where I first really took notice to 3DP. The second catalyst, and probably this is, I'm going to say right now, this is probably the biggest catalyst over the past 3 or 4 months, was that Bevan Slattery took a stake in Pointerra. And Bevan Slattery is a highly respected investor. You can just see what he's done here. This is sort of his history over the past 20 years or so. So he co-founded Pipe Networks, and if I remember correctly, Pipe Networks is bought out by TPG. He's also founded NextDC, which is still around and valued quite highly, and Megaport and Superloop, which are both going, well, Megaport's going gangbusters. I'm not sure Superloop is doing quite as good, but a very highly respected investor. He put some skin into the game, less than 10% although. He's also bought an interest in another company called IHR, and that as soon as the market found out he had bought a bid into IHR, the stock price went up quite a bit there. So this was the second catalyst, and the market reacted very positively to this news. The third catalyst was an Appendix 4C. So those who don't know what Appendix 4C, it's just a cash flow statement that all companies like 3DP have to put out every quarter. So it came out July 23rd. So we should be getting one in the next month or so. By the end of October, the next quarter's 4C should come out. The reason why this got me excited was right at the bottom there, it tells you what the net cash from operating activities, what the number is. And I'm looking for a positive number there. I've just circled it there, 220,000. And they've increased their cash receipts, so 820,000. And you can just see they only got 820,000 cash receipts, but they still got net operating cash flow of 220. Although you got to take into account they also got some government grants of 116,000. So even if you take that away, they'll still cash flow positive in operations, which is a big potential big inflection point for a company. And this also got the market excited. I follow Appendix 4Cs for every company that issue one pretty diligently. So I've been taking note of 3DP for the last 3 years. So all the way back to July 17, they had $4,000 in cash receipts. You see a very good slope upwards if you actually graph this. I could have graphed this, but a good slope upwards. And on no doubt their October 20 4C will see cash receipts even greater than this. They've already hinted at this in some of their announcements. So good trajectory forward as we move forward with cash receipts. The next catalyst was September 1st, where they did give sales an ACV. So ACV is just, what is it occurring? ACV is annual contract value. So annual contract value, ACV. And the first bit there is they've got ACV up to $4 million at 31st of August. So that's increased 39% in 30 days. So they actually underlined the most important things, I think, in this announcement, which was convenient for me in this case. And the recent growth meant they are in a profitable position based off their run rates, even though they have actually done some more hiring of staff. So they are profitable at the moment based off this. And that was a sign that just that operating cash flow was positive was also a sign. So it looks like their financial state is improving every single day. So good news there. Their financials, not really going to focus on this too much. Shares on issue, 670 million or so. And with the share price at the end of, or the start of trading day today, so I'm doing this just after 10 a.m., was 0.485 cents. So that gave a market cap of 325. Revenue, profit, loss, equity, and operating cash flow is all irrelevant here because the market's pricing in how much they're going to grow in the next 5 to 10 years. And the market's fairly bullish on Pointerra at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to look at is some charts. So I'm always, I'm not only a financial person, I'm also a technical person. So I like to look at charts, look at breakouts, that sort of thing. And I've taken this chart from July 2016 to July 2020. So in July, I think it was July 2016, they did a backdoor listing. So a backdoor listing is where a company, in this case it was Soil Sub Technologies, SOI, sort of gave 3DP a lot of shares. So sort of instead of a listing, normal listing, it's just a backdoor listing where a company sort of takes a company that's already listed and takes just rebrands themselves and that sort of thing. So they went from SOI to 3DP. And over this 3 or 4 year period, we've seen a couple of big spikes. So the first spike was in July 2017. Actually, it wasn't July, end of November 2017, where we saw the share price go from 4 to 6 cents, 50% increase. That's in one day. And they were given an ASX price and volume query, and they just said, we don't know what's happening here. And even though they said that, this price went from that 4 cents all the way up to 16 cents. So if you were a holder at 4 cents, you would have had a full bagger in a very short period of time, just over a month. Because there was no news with that, it was just based off sort of probably hype or something. Not a lot of volume on the bottom there. I do have volume. Because there was not a lot of news with it. It was based off hype. Hype always falls away, and we just saw the share price come back down to those between 2 and 4 cents by July of the next year. Then in October 31st, 2018, there was a sales update. So this was some better news, and we saw the share price go from 3.1 to 8.4 cents. But with that news, there was also a sell-off. So I think a lot of holders who bought in on the hype in the previous year saw this share price increase and sold out as a way to recoup their money. We see that a lot when we see the big share price hike or spikes in previous years. When we see a share price spike, we see a lot of selling into that rise. Share price then just sort of stagnated for the next year and a half until we got to this year. So for this 4-year period, not much happened. We just saw these couple of bit of spikes in price, but always the price came back. So that's something to be wary of as we move forward. And then I'm going to focus in on the short term, going from July 2020 to the end of trading on Friday. A very bullish chart. This is a beautiful chart. If I must say, there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. So I've got some of those catalysts I've mentioned before. The first catalyst, Catalyst 1 with Andrew Page of Strawman, is way back previous year. So he got in fairly early, they got in fairly early. And the main thing about that is remaining patient. I did see that Strawman did sell out in June, but they bought it in fairly quickly. But being patient is the main thing. So when I hold companies like 3DP, I like to hold for many years, remain patient, because this is the sort of thing that can happen. So when Bevan Slattery bought in, the price rose from 5.4 to 9.3 cents, 72% rise in one day, and then it rose 34% the next day. You can just see the market took that news very positively, and that's just based off Bevan Slattery's his reputation in the investing field. On the July 23rd, their Appendix 4C was released, and the share price went from 16.5 to 19 cents on that day. Previous day was the big rise, which rose by something like 30%. So I'm not sure there was any release of any sort of insider trading there. But some people could have had the news of the Appendix 4C a little bit early. And just good trading from then on up until the 1st of September sales update. The share price increased 39% from 27 cents to 37.5 cents. The last few weeks we've seen a good action. We've seen 50 cents be a line of resistance, and I think I'd do this on the next chart. So I've got this orange line I've got here. This fat orange line is just the uptrend. It follows the short-term moving average fairly well, sort of in between the 20 and 50-day moving average. I haven't got lines in here, but 50 cents is seeming like a bit of resistance here. So I got to 50 cents in the start of September after the news of the sales update. It pulled back to 40 cents, and then it's retested 50 cents on the last few days. So there is a chance today on opening on the Monday, the 28th of September, 26th, 27th, 28th, that there is a potential bullish sign if it pulls through 50 cents. In fact, let's have a look at share price action of 3DP, because at the time it's 10:30. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this has pulled through 50 cents. There it is, 50 cents. So it's pulled through on good volume, it looks like. So 2.6 million shares already traded. So nice little volume there. And I'll just zoom in here. So this is what you call a breakout. If I just put a line right here at resistance. It's broken through that resistance. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if 50 cents gets retested in the next few days, and that would be a time to buy for those who are inclined for technical, those inclined to use technical things as a reason to buy. I use both technical and financial. But so fairly bullish on the chart too, so it's looking really good, especially today's action. So this is my take. So it's priced to perfection. So just based off financials, based off potential growth, I think that's been priced into the stock price right now. If you did some sort of analysis of the price, I think Andrew Page on Strawman did that in one of his posts. He got a much lower price than 50 cents. But if you look at price per sales and look at potential growth through the next 3 or 4 years, I think he used NEA Nearmap as a guide there. They've got a market cap of 1.5 million or so with $100 million in sales. That's priced 15 times to sales. If you do that sort of thing with Pointerra, all they need is $20 million in sales to be priced where they are now, and there is potential they could be quite a bit higher than that. So if you put some money in right now and wait 3 to 5 years, 10 years or so, there is a chance this might be priced a fair bit higher. So based off financials right now, you can't price this at what it is. So it's all based off future potential. And I think right now it is priced to perfection. I've mentioned here possible breakout above 50 cents. We've seen that on today's chart. So if you are thinking of buying in, maybe just wait for a pullback to 50 or just buy in right now. Weakness in share price, buying opportunity. So even though it's gone above 50 cents, there is always a possibility with the general volatility of the market, we could see a pullback in price over the next 6 months or so, and that would be a buying opportunity. But I'm also eagerly awaiting the Appendix 4C. They've hinted that this could be quite high. We could be seeing some good cash flow coming into the business, and this could be the next catalyst to drive the share price forward to a price higher, well above 50 cents. So when you compare this company to some other companies I've done, like BrainChip, Novonix, this has more of a financial waterfall going for it, more of a financial. You could sort of base buying Pointerra based off financials and potential future financials because they have some financials going for it. Those other companies aren't quite there yet. Novonix is getting there, but BrainChip is definitely not there yet. So a lot of things going for Pointerra. A good company. I'm not a holder yet, but I might look at buying in the future because it is an exciting company. So that's all for today. If you do have any questions, make sure you leave a message or on the comments. And have a good day. I'm not a professional advisor, so if you do need professional advice, make sure you seek out a professional. So that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.